Good morning, dear students. Once again, I am here with you with a new topic, that is project writing, how to prepare a good project. This topic is going to be of great help to you as it is going to help you in the preparation of your project. So, there are certain important points which you have to remember while preparing your project. Remember, every project is unique in itself. Use your creativity to come out with desired results. And when you are in the process of preparing a project, ask yourself, what are you passionate about? What do you want to achieve? And when you get the answer of these two questions, then you determine your SMART goals, and after it, organize your project into steps, specific tasks, and time frames. Then there are certain formal requirements which you have to fulfill. Number one, title. Then the second is going to be the cover page. And the third is a certificate which is being provided to you by your guide or mentor. Then on the fourth page, you are going to give your acknowledgements. Here you are going to acknowledge those who have helped you in any way in the preparation of your project. Then you are going to write a preface. Preface is going to be a brief introduction of whatever you are going to do and whatever you are preparing to project. Then the third page is going to be the content list. Here, whatever you have given in the coming pages of your project, you are going to give a page-wise list of all those points. So there are 6 points. Number one, the title, then the cover page, then certificate, acknowledgement, preface, and content list. So these are all the formal requirements which you have to fulfill before starting. Now let's see how we are going to structure our project. So there are certain points which we have to pay attention to while structuring our project. The first is title or the statement of the problem. Other one is a brief introduction to whatever we are going to search or research in our project. Then the third one is aims and objectives. Then hypothesis, research methodology or methods, literature review, data collection and its analysis, then conclusion or the finding of your research, and the references, works cited or bibliography, and ultimately we are going to write the appendices or notes if there are any. Now whatever these points are, let us take all these points one by one. So the first one is the topic or the title should be interesting, and it should also show the curiosity of the researcher. It should also start the curiosity in the mind of the readers. The topic should not be too vast, it should not be too brief. It should cover the entire points or the entire area which is being selected by the researcher. Then the title of the research project should be brief, though it is going to be brief, but it should be properly informative. Then describe the problem or the question that your research will address and discuss its importance to your field. The second is introduction. So while preparing an introduction to the topic or the title which you have selected for your research, you are going to put certain points into your mind, and those are The introduction gives you the opportunity to set out for your reader exactly why the question you are trying to answer is vital. That means this introduction is going to give the significance of the topic which you have chosen for your study. Then support most of the statements in your introduction with other studies in the area that support the significance of your question. It should contain brief background. So a brief background of the selected topic should be given. Then it must identify the importance of the study, and while providing the introduction, you are also going to relate the significance or the importance of your study, what is the relevance of your study, and how you can apply the results of this study for the benefit of society. You should also clearly state the purpose of your study, why this study is significant, what is the purpose of going ahead in this field of study. Then one more thing which you have to pay attention is the length of your introduction will vary depending on overall length of your project. So there is no specific length. It can vary from 1 page to 2 pages. Generally, it will cover first page or 2 pages of your project. Now, the next point which we have to take into notice is the aims and objectives. So each and every study, each and every project, whenever we are preparing for it, to state its aims and objectives becomes very necessary. So while writing or while searching for the aims and objectives, you are suggested to pay attention on the following points. Number one, include at least one overall objective. So at least one overall objective should be there, and then you are going to provide 2 or 3 specific objectives. That means one overall objective and 2 or 3 specific objectives, so that you hope to accomplish through your project. And here you should pay into attention that generally the overall project or the generally the overall objective does not relate to solving a specific problem or answering a specific question. Rather, it describes how your particular project will advance your field. So the overall objective which you have taken, it is not going to be the answer of your problem, but it is going to tell about the pattern in which you are going to advance in your field. Then for specific objectives, think in terms of verbs such as to quantify, to compare, to find out. Here you are hoping to gain a better understanding of associations between particular variables. So the third point which we are going to remember is all research projects should have objectives and aims, and every effort should be made to achieve them. The objectives and aims should only be a few, 3 to 5. They must pertain the study problem. Then statement of the problem or hypothesis. So hypothesis is what? Hypothesis is a tentative answer to your problem. Whatever question you have taken, whatever problem you have taken, there is a tentative answer, and this hypothesis, it provides a tentative answer to your problem. Then your hypothesis represents your predictions of what you find out as a result of your research. So again the same thing, because it is the tentative answer, so that is why it represents the prediction of yours. Then typically this involves predicting a relationship between two different variables. Your research project will then attempt to qualify that relationship. Hypothesis should not be haphazard, haphazard guess, but should reflect the knowledge. So whatever hypothesis we are making, it is not going to be the haphazard guess or just the imagination, figment of your imagination, but it should reflect your knowledge. It should also reflect your imagination and experience of the investigator. Then the most important part of your research is research methodology. So what methodology is? The methodology or the methods section is the core of your project and lays out for your reader exactly how you are going to answer your research question. That means how you are going to attain your aims. What are the methods which you are going to adopt? What is the methodology that you are going to follow so that whatever you are planning to achieve during the time of your research, you are going to achieve it. So that is why demonstrate to your reader that the study design, and this is also known as study design. So the study design you have chosen is within your reach and appropriate for answering your research question, the question which you have made, the hypothesis which you have made, the design or the methods which you are going to follow, those methods are going to answer that particular question. So that is why include enough details that your reader can fully understand how you are going to carry out your study. And any research methodology, it should cover following aspects. Some of them according to the subjects and according to the field we may avoid also. So first of all, study design, how you are going to advance in the field of your study. What are the settings of your study? How you are going to take the sample, um, then what are the variables, how you are going to control those variables, and what are the methods, what methods are going to be there following which you are going to study, whether you are going to follow the examination method or you are going to follow the investigation method or you are going to follow the analytical method. Then data collection, how you are going to collect your data and how you are going to analyze your data. Then literature review. Review of literature is very important part of research project. It achieves the following. Number one, it familiarizes the reader to the problem under study. So literature review is also one of the most important part of your research project. Here you are going to uh, 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 write something about the previous work that is being done in the same field which you are going to do. So it familiarizes your readers to the problem under study. It also describes the work done by the others, either at local or international level. So it also describes how much of the work is being done, whether on the local level or on the international level or on the similar subject. So this is the main significance of writing the literature review. It also helps the researcher to understand the difficulties faced by others and the corrective steps taken or modifications made by them. So it also helps that whatever studies have already been done in the same field, what were the difficulties that were being faced by others and how the current researcher is going to take corrective steps or how he is going to make certain modifications. Then the researcher can also anticipate similar or the additional problems during the study, and review of literature helps him in anticipating them. So its main function is to help in anticipating. Then research methodology of the researcher can be structured and modified after reviewing the literature. Whatever methodology the researcher is going to adopt, he can modify or structure after reviewing the literature which is being already done in the previous time. The review assists in identifying various variables in the research project and conceptualizes their relationship. The information given in the review should be supported by the references, and these references should be duly cited in the bibliography by the researcher. Then data collection. It is again a very important step while preparing for a project. So a brief note on how data are collected should be included. So a writer or a researcher is going to give a brief note how he has collected the data and the information about plans for collaboration with other organizations. So while collecting the data, the researcher may be collaborating with various organizations and other areas, and so that is why he is going to write about the same. Here the researcher will have to describe the method of the data collection. The method of data collection in maybe in the various forms, maybe in the form of a questionnaire, it may be in the form of interviews, it may be in the form of medical examination, it may be in the form of laboratory investigations and also screening procedures. So how the person is going to collect data, that researcher is going to write about it in the heading data collection. Once the data is being collected, now the next step begins, and this step is the step of data analysis. So data analysis is an important part of a project, and a good analysis, remember, a good analysis leads to good results. The plans for data analysis should be mentioned under the following heads: statistical methods, like as in the economics or other subjects, computer program use, and data sorting method, how the data is being sorted, like in literature, etc. A general statement, appropriate statistical methods will be used. This kind of general statements while writing a note on data analysis must be avoided. The next part of a research project is works cited or references or the bibliography. Every project, whether it is a synopsis or thesis or project, it may contain at the end a list of the works cited, references, and a bibliography. Whatever references or works you have cited in the due course of your project, you are going to duly give a reference of all of them in the end, and these should be written on some standard pattern. There are certain patterns which are popular. Number one, there is Emily style sheet, and there is also APA pattern. I have made a separate video on Emily style sheet 8, the link of which I am going to give in the description of the chat box, in the description of the box over here. You can go through that link and you can clear all your doubts regarding MLA style sheet 8 or how the works are going to be cited over there. Thank you for watching.